can stand and take a shower.
Bright sunny skies. It's so humid and hot.
In the Defender, and we are riding right now into the rain. Let's take a look at that. Unloading all of that gear. Woo! That's a lot of work and teamwork, really.
Yes. So luckily we had a guy that was staying on the island.
Yeah.
He had been out there. He was a fellow property owner, and he volunteered to more or less run the transportation as far as the four-wheeler goes. So what we would do is we would just bring the four-wheeler down, load whatever went on there. We'd strap it on. They would go. You and him would get to essentially back to where the building site was and just slide it off in a stack. It was fairly, it wasn't easy, but it was well organized. And then just come back and we'd load with steel, we'd load whatever we needed to do just to be able to do that. So it was round robin as you guys were going up and dropping stuff off. We were continuing to take stuff off the boat and get it staged.
Yeah. So like you said, it was just all moving all at the same time from one spot to the other. The boat has to get unloaded as quickly as possible. Tide is going out. We have to get our captain out of here. You're pulling as quickly as you can onto the beach. And we're also loading onto the four-wheeler and the trailer, unloading back. So it's definitely a cycle. Okay.
Yep.
It went pretty well. We had decent weather, and that's a plus. It took us, but that was really our job for the day, was to get it unloaded and staged for the next day, right?
Yep.
Okay, so do you want a tour of the campsite as we are on this trip to Perl Island? It's changed a bit since the last time I gave you a tour. So last time we were heading out, going back to Homer. Now we're back on Perl, building the second cabin. So while the team's working on the post holes, how about if I give you a quick little tour? We added a few things. So staging area for lumber, ladders that we'll need once we get up. Get these sections up and need to get on the roof. We have built all of our sections back in Homer, and just so heavy. Got them off the beach, and again, we strapped them to our little wagon, JP2, dragged them up here. Been fantastic. So this is our staging area for our lumber. Did get a chance to get the drone up for a minute, and you can see here, you see the posts already in place for the new cabin. They're going to be, the corners will match on the two cabins, and that way then we can share a deck and a shower and some of the other amenities that we need out here. And you can see we have our solar array. It's pumping out some great power today because we have a little bit of sunshine. Love that. And we're cleaning things up as we go. This big bunch of styrofoam hit the beach, and so we're going to probably tear it apart a little bit and burn it because we don't want those little styrofoam balls all over the place. And you can see this side of the cabin, and then the weeds. Yep, we've got all of our tools staged on the deck, and the solar array is working great this morning. Again, we're pumping up those batteries. We haven't been here all winter, and getting them freshened up. Now this side of the cabin, like I said, when it was originally built on the Discovery Channel with the Kilcher family and for Grady Avant on Journey to Perl, They built it with tongue and groove. That's tongue and groove siding that you see there, interior. And so you know how that is. There's a tongue and there's a groove. And the two sit on top of each other, and then that sandwiches up all the way to the top. Well, as those boards shrink, they leave a gap, and no one filled the gap. So at any time there's any bit of a breeze, you're gonna feel it in that cabin. And so we're probably going to, we already planned this, Bill already knew that he was going to do this. We're going to put a Tyvek wrap on it and then side it, so that with some metal, so that at least it helps break off some of that wind. This is the direction that the wind comes. So I'm standing looking north and northeast. So the wind, usually the big storms come out of the northeast. And so we need to protect this side of the cabin as best we can. So we're working on that. Let's keep touring. Again, this is what you saw last time. Panels made it through the winter. Everything looks good. You can see Bill's construction with me. Still standing. Looking good. Back porch looks a little different this time around. Clean things up a little bit. You can see back in the backyard here. It's very wet here, so as much as I would love to just take some of this wood and burn it, we have to dry it out first. It's super wet here. So we did get some lumber cut last month, and we have our water and our cleaning station stage back here. That's where I cook. You can see my grill and another little cooking station. The batteries for our solar system are right up here on a table that we built last time, and you can hear the generator running, and that is us powering up those batteries. So we've been able to charge our phones. That's been excellent, and do have small lights on in the house, so that was nice. Just have little comforts there, and I'll be able to charge my drone and some other things here. You can see some of the stuff on the side of the cabin that we've needed. Bill's ladder that he built last time. And the IBC tote, that will be for our water. We have a gutter system that will be pulling water off of both of these cabins, dumping it into that IBC tote, and then we'll be able to pump it back into the house and use it for whatever you need it. Eventually we're going to put a shower on the corner of this, so you'll be able to see that, and that water will be also drawn from this IBC tote. So it's coming together.
Now it's time to figure out how to build this thing. And you in your head, you're already thinking about putting post holes in versus the cookie method, right? Tell me a little bit about those.
So you can put a cookie in the bottom, which is essentially just a cement pad, then set yourself on top, set your pole on top of it, then backfill. I wanted a little more than that, so what we did is we dug the holes, and it was about soil about maybe that deep with topsoil, and then I got to rocks. So now you're trying your post hole digger. Well, the rocks are decent size, so when you went to clamp it to pull it out of there, they just fall out of the bottom. So now it was on the ground. Of course, the ground was wet, right? So you put down some kind of plastic, and then it's take a screwdriver, dig the hole out as far as opening up the rocks, and then it was your scooper. Scoop, throw, scoop, throw, scoop, throw, and then repeat. And you wanted to get down 3 feet, so that we went down about 3 feet, And then
Good thing your arm is pretty darn long. That's about as long as it was, right?
I went down as far as as long as my
goodness.
arm was, right? And then once we got everything set, we dumped in a bag of cement mix in each hole.
Once you got the post in, that's good.
Once you got the post in.
And you knew that that's just going to fill up. You know, an interesting thing about the island too, does tide matter to the holes we dig in that area?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It didn't. Well, we weren't into the water line yet, so no.
Okay.
No.
But explain that for people, because that does matter to our well, right?
It matters to a hand pump.
A hand pump well. Okay.
So typically what happens is the tide comes up, the natural water, meaning that not salt, right, that rises up. So we've been told on that hand pump that it doesn't pump water very well at low tides.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that another day now, won't we, when we have to figure that one out. Wow, Bill, I got you to take a little break. I've been telling everybody all about our trip so far, and you're in the background because you're really huffing it this time around. Not that you aren't always, but this is an ambitious trip. What are we doing?
Just you have to realize you got to plan every detail. That's the thing. And when I mean every detail, it's kind of like, I'm in automotive, right? If you took a test and you got a 99%, you'd be happy. If I delivered you a car and it didn't have a steering wheel, you would not be happy.
Minor detail.
Yeah, minor detail, right? You're just missing one thing, right? You're still 99%. That's how it is with the cabin. You gotta have everything. You gotta have joist hangers. You gotta have all your nails. You gotta have all your fasteners. You have to have the right amount of material, but you don't want to overbuy, right?
And everything has to be carried out by hand.
Yeah. And if you want something and it's critical, then it's either 2 hours away or it's another trip. So fortunate for us, our captain's coming back out on another mission, so we'll get a little free ride on that one. But yeah.
Well, we kind of worked that into the process, that second trip out. So we knew that if we had to have something else, we knew that he was going to do that second round. So that was built into the plan.
Yep.
And so far, how's the build going?
It's going good. We've had a couple of let's figure it out, but other than that, pretty good.
Yeah.
Good.
And so right now we've got the post holes have been dug. We've got the posts set. The floor's almost ready to be put in. And
yep. Then the walls and roof, and go from there. Set the windows, set the doors.
Which is kind of fun, because remember the plan we had back in Michigan, everybody? Do you remember we built this cabin in our driveway?
Yep.
Right? And then we disassembled it, sold it to someone in Michigan, blueprinted it before we took it apart, sent it to Alaska to our builders here. They built it again in our driveway.
Yep.
Here in Alaska.
Yep.
Loaded it all on a trailer, loaded it all on a boat, unloaded it on our beach, onto our other little four-wheeler wagon, hooked it up this hill, and brought it here. That's what happened.
That's one of the things too. We had to make a major investment in a four-wheeler, and we bought a wagon, and it's a small tandem axle wagon, and I'm glad we did, because it was a lifesaver yesterday.
It really was, yeah. And we also found a different way to approach our beach. So we've shown you the beach before, and it's treacherous to try to climb this beach because it's all pea gravel. You take one step and you slip halfway back. And our captain found a different spot on our beach to try to approach. He could do it with his boat safely, and then we were able to find hard-packed sand. That was a little better at a different tide. I mean,
somewhat, yeah.
At least I didn't get stuck 10 times.
There you go.
Someone else did.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to probably have walls up today.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I don't.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope. The floor will at least be done.
Okay.
And it will be staged for the rest of it.
Yeah. But this is day 1 of the build, so it's okay.
Nope,
we're doing great. By day 3, you think we'll have walls and a roof?
Yes.
Right on. Okay.
Yep.
Day 4, should we have siding up, windows on, doors on?
I hope.
Envelope done?
Because we'll be running out of time if we don't.
Okay.
But it's the weather. It's beautiful, sunny weather.
Yeah, we look like we have one more day of beautiful sunshine, and then, because today's Monday, Tuesday looks to be another nice day. Wednesday looks like Wednesday evening. We're getting into some high winds and storms moving in Wednesday evening and Thursday. So, sorry. Could
Here
be
we go.
28 to 35-mile-per-hour winds.
Gonna have to pass. I better get back to the site now, knowing
Okay.
that.
We're not seeing any traditional framing, right? We already did all of that. After you get the deck built, normally it's build the base, sill plate, and then you go for it, right?
Yep.
We didn't do that. You're not seeing that. Why not?
No, because it was modular. What I
Yeah.
mean by that is it was built in 8x8 sections was the biggest, and we essentially had this 8x16, 8 wide, 16 long, and so we had an 8 and an 8 on the left side, 8, or I should say front side, 8 and 8 on the back side, and then 2 4s on both ends. So that made it relatively easy to just start. I wouldn't say Lincoln logging them. There's more to it than that, but start assembling. But
Yeah.
they're right there.
Yeah. I think our crew was impressed that it went up so darn fast. I think within an hour you had all of them placed. 2 hours? Okay. How long did it take?
We're at the same site, so I would say within 3 hours we were ready to put in the ridge beam.
Yeah, but they were impressed in how quickly it went up. That's good.
Oh.
That was the time savings right there. They built them here in Homer, and by the time we got them out to the island and lugged them all the way up there, that was the time saver.
The thing is you don't know what the weather's going to be. I mean, it might have been a week of rain, and you have to do it regardless. So I would rather move stuff assembled. In the automotive industry, we call it PAA, parts and assembly.
PAA, okay.
So that's what I'd rather do. So it worked out good. They're heavy, but still manageable.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Okay, about the ridge beam now, tell me how big that is.
3 2x16s, or excuse me, 2x12, 16 feet long.
Oof.
Yep. So.
But that holds the weight of the roof, which I really wanted an open concept in there. It's only an 8x16 cabin. We didn't really want to step around anything, and use it for upper, give it a little more storage at the top. So you built it with that in mind, and that really was slick.
It worked out well.
Yeah. Okay, tell me about the pockets and how you built those.
Pockets
for the ridge beam. So you were like this.
Yeah. Essentially, what it did is that you took the 1 4-foot section, then you run what they call I call them cripples. I think other people call them crowns or something like that. And you build it, and you just start fastening it together. What it does is it creates a gap inside the middle, and your ridge beam slides down into it, and it's essentially entrapped. There's really no way it can go, and then you just, if you're a half an inch, you just cut it over, you just cut it and go from there.
Yeah.
And then once you have your ridge beam, then you can just do your roof rafters from there.
Yeah, good.
So, line right up.
And in true fashion with Wild Bill and the Weather Girl, we did leave a few messages for everyone once they get in there.
Oh,
check them out.
Yeah.
Always good. Well, I think that we made some pretty good progress on that second day.
Very good. Very good. It's moving right along. But it can be a beautiful one day and hellacious the next day.
Sure.
So you keep pushing it.
Yeah.
And with it being lighter out, we worked. till 9, 10 o'clock at night. Luckily, one of our guys had a construction background, which we were aware of, but we didn't know how detailed it was. So he was critical in getting us the rest of the way, especially climbing height-wise.
Yeah.
I would do it, but just not that fast. So tough time with that walker up on the roof when I'm trying to get around.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's hard to pick that walker up.
Those ridges.
I mean, you have the golf balls in the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. The next episode, it looks like we'll be attacking the roof and then wrapping essentially the outside with the metal and trying to hang as much steel as fast as we can.
And he's Wild Bill, and I'm the Weather Girl. You make sure you subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you next time.
Have to be standing to take a shower.
Bright sunny skies. It's so humid and hot.
In Defender, and we are riding right now into the rain. Let's take a look at that.